Emma's here.
Good
Everyone.
evening, everyone. Anyone that's watching on YouTube, Facebook, we are here. We're a bit late. Just a little bit. Not that
honestly, watching us two get ready is like
would you
awful.
believe we've been chatting since 7:30 and it's now 8:20 and we still quite ready to go. Not, by the way, talking about anything kind of podcast related particularly. That was about a 2-second conversation out of the whole lot. We were trying to kind of stream somewhere else and it didn't quite work out as planned. So we'll do that next week.
We've got Tina joining as well. Hi, Tina. Thanks for joining.
Hello.
Okay, so we're on episode 21.
Wow.
21,
not bad,
baby.
because we did say originally that we were going to try and do podcast every other week. Obviously we've bit shy of that. We had a couple of gaps, didn't we? But that's not too bad, really, considering. I think that's quite good going, considering we started a year ago not really knowing what we were going to do and not really knowing how to do it, and here we are, still in exactly the same position.
Literally. Not in our minds, though. Our minds
not
are like
in our minds, no,
way further down the road.
Way further.
This evening, what are we going to talk about, Kirsty?
Well, I will start, because I had a bit of a strange week last week. There was a few things that kind of triggered me, for want of a better phrase.
Before we get started, I just want a caveat. I always know when Kirsty is triggered, because Kirsty normally is blowing up my phone every where. And there was a few days where she went silent and I was like, something's wrong. I was like, I'm going to leave her to it. I'm going to wait a couple of days. I just sensed something was wrong, because you just got to, I don't want to pry or anything.
I'm kind of I sometimes need to process stuff. It's like, I don't really know what's happening. I've never really been the best person at talking about feelings and things that are, truly deeply personal to me. I've not ever been really good about that. I've obviously got a lot better over the last year, and having you in my life and people that I can talk to is amazing and makes a huge difference. But I still do struggle with it, and it's the struggle that I have is I judge myself like I'm someone else judging me, and it's a hard one to explain, but it's almost the way I look at everybody around me is as like I put me in their body, and so I'm judging myself and thinking everybody kind of thinks the same thing, and so I always then have to think hard about what is it really that's bothering me. But it's actually been a couple of weeks. It hasn't actually just been the last week, but it's been like almost like a stacking of different things. And the stacking of all those things seem to be in the same area. Like the triggers are slightly different, but they're sort of all coming into the same subject. But I can't seem to dig deep enough to get to the root of it. Like, I've done a lot of work on myself. We talked about my childhood. We talked about my need to be a success and a high achiever and all of that. But this is deeper again, it feels. And there's certain things in there that I'm not very good at sticking up for myself. For whatever reason, I don't like rocking the boat, don't like upsetting people. That all comes back to putting other people before myself, and that people pleasing and all that stuff. And then there's lots of things where, and this is what I'll go into what happened yesterday as well, but I get upset when people don't do things in a way that I would, and kind of especially when I've done a lot for those people, if that makes sense. So and there's been a few things lately, like I've helped with something for a whole year, and there was something that happened. I can't really go into it, but there was something
not the podcast guys.
No, it's not the podcast. No, not at all. No, not at all. And something that happened that I sort of let it slide, but in the back of my mind, it was bothering me. And it was bothering me from a point of view, I was like, so I'm not appreciated then? All of that stuff that I've done is not appreciated. all of the, and it's even worse than that from a different point of view. It's like, well, if I was in that position, why? I don't get it at all. But I didn't confront it, and I should have done.
Yeah.
Because I felt, and I always come back to this, I don't want to be the silly crying girl. Like, it's what it comes back to every single time. I don't want to be judged from that perspective ever.
Which is a lot of, is stemming, from childhood, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like not wanting to put a foot out of line type of scenario, but it doesn't ever serve me. So that led me into a conversation with you about hypnotherapy. And then yesterday, I mean, I did a bit of research and then found a hypnotherapist and went for a consultation yesterday. And it was fascinating, just what she said. I mean, it wasn't a hypnotherapy session, it was just a consultation. But even in that, we're there for an hour. She said, I always say the consultation's half an hour, but it never is. She said it's always longer. And she sat and listened to me, and she kind of basically took some of the words that I was saying, and she asked me a couple of things. There was 2 things that I hadn't considered. She said, how do you talk to yourself? She said, do you say I am, or do you say you are? And I was like, actually say you are. Like, if I say, I never say I'm not good enough, I say you're not good enough. And even if I write in my journal, you are this, you are that. And I thought that was really interesting. So that's obviously something that needs to be delved into. Where's that coming from?
Yeah.
Is that someone that perhaps has said that to me and it's stuck? And she sort of said as well that the reality of things isn't real. When we're a child, we take one thing and turn it into a whole reality. So if someone once says to you, you're wrong, only once, you then think you're wrong every single time, so you never do anything again. Or if someone says to you, you're loud in one situation, you then be quiet forever, because as a child, you don't know any different. And she said, you're either, as a child, you're trying to be authentic, but then you're trying to survive. And what wins is the survival, because your parents are never going to say to you, oh, yes, off you go and be rebellious. You go and, oh, you don't listen to mum and dad. You do whatever you want. They're never going to do that. So your authentic self gets lost under that need for survival. And I just thought it was really, really interesting. I really liked her style and her way and the way she communicated, and she was very passionate. And yeah, I'm really excited to get started, which will be 2 weeks' time. So
yeah, I'm excited for you. It's really exciting.
It is.
I think it's really important to note as well, like Kirsty and I have talked about, on this podcast, on social media, whatever, our journeys, and we've had a very, deep self-discovery journey this past year. That doesn't mean that Kirsty and I are 100% fixed. Like, this journey is never going to end, really. And it's really important for people to know that, yes, we're a lot more like confident in what we're doing here. We found our voice and whatever, but that doesn't mean there's still not things that we're going to uncover. Like, it's a continuous journey, but that's the beauty of it. That's growth, isn't it?
But
so
you said it to me the other day, though. You said to me the other day, and it's so true, is that because of all the work we've done already, it's now easier and quicker to identify.
Yeah.
It comes to the surface a lot quicker than it ever would have done before. And for me, it came to the surface in the last 2 weeks with a lot of crying. And crying for things that didn't really make sense to me. But I'm so used to normally pushing those feelings down. But I let it come out. I let it rise right to the top, bubble over, and then I sat with it. And I'm very clear on what I want to uncover, but obviously hypnotherapy is going to help me just really unlock it and really get to the bottom of it. So I said to you earlier, didn't I? She said she does 2 sides of the hypnotherapy. First of all is suggestive. So she does a lot of the question asking and sort of takes me on the journey. And then when I'm ready, which might be weeks down the line, we do analytical, which is where I do the work, but I'm still in a state of hypnosis at that point. But obviously you're aware of everything, apparently. I mean, you've had it before, haven't you?
Yeah, I was going to say, have you haven't had it before, have you? No. So yeah, you have, For anyone that is interested that hasn't been, like, you do have to go in completely open-minded and just ready, just open to whatever is going to happen, because that's what I did anyway. I had no expectation of going under. I didn't put pressure on myself. I was like, just lie there, Meg. But in actual fact, I did go under, and it's a very bizarre experience. I can't quite explain it, but it's definitely, it's basically like a really, really deep meditation. Like, and but it is, it will be emotional because for me, in my experience, a lot of things came up from childhood that I completely forgot about. There was like experiences that I remembered like as if I was there. Like it was like I was watching myself. It was really weird. Like it's like an out of body experience of like looking at baby Meg. And it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And it's things that obviously like when it's there presented is like, oh yeah, that did happen. But it's actually crazy how those experiences actually affect you into your adult life. It's but for me, my journey, that I had hypnotherapy probably, I don't know, it was ages ago now, years ago. And I had that, and then I didn't really act upon it then, but it was like the start of what I've been doing now. It's kind of like things came up. I kind of, was like, okay, fine. And then I wasn't ready until this time last year to actually go on, the journey that I've been on. I mean, it's not for everyone. It's really not for everyone, but I highly recommend it, and just people just be open to it. It's not anything crazy or scary. It's all in you, really.
I'm excited because she sort of basically said that, what you just said, in that it's not like therapy, and it's not about someone's opinion of you. It is of your situation. It's actually you. It's like stories that you're telling, and it builds a picture. Yeah. And then you can then start digging into it. So it's all coming from you, which is what I really like. But because this, we talked about it on our stage talk, but that armor that is up is so rock solid that I've broken through some of it. There's just still more to break through, and I don't think traditional therapy would do it for me, because I'm very good at saying the right thing. I'm very good at telling a story, really good at that. I'm not actually always very good at getting to the root emotion and getting to the root of it. And I think that this will really work for me, but we'll see. I'll obviously update as I go and kind of how it's going and stuff like that. But I am really excited, and I'm excited because she's really passionate as well about the hypnosis as a whole and everything that she was talking about. But yeah, it's kind of like, it's for me is the next stage of unlocking, unblocking, probably, really. There are certain things within that I think do and have held me back. The not being able to stick up for myself and immediately react to things is a problem.
Yeah.
But it's doing it in the right way. And because I am quite direct and can be taken in a way that can be quite feisty, when I respond straight away, it's not always delivered in the best way, and therefore I don't really get a good response either. So, and then I'm conscious of that, and it's all like a big vicious circle. So, yeah, being able to kind of get to the bottom of something, I think will really take away some blocks for me.
Exciting. Is anyone here who's watching ever had hypnotherapy? Let us know. And how you found it, or let us know in the comments if you're on the replay. Let us know.
She did say she did say to me, what expectations have you got? And I said, well, I haven't really got any. She said, well, because most people come in the room and they're like, are you going to turn me into a clucking chicken? And she said, I say to them, if that's where your problem is, if you want to turn into a clucking chicken and that's going to solve your problems, yes, fine, we can do that, no problem. But that isn't the intention, no.
That reminds me of is it Darren Brown?
I think it might have been,
people up, didn't he?
Do random.
That really blew my mind, those shows.
Just say the word. Did you say the word girlfriend or something, and then someone would do something, and
just like that? It's not like that. It's really not. You literally you'll lie down, whatever, get into a hypnosis, and then get into a meditative state, and then you'll just go.
Yeah, she said that, she said she kind of, and that's the other thing, I really struggle to meditate.
Sorry,
like I really Karen. Fuck off, Karen.
Oh, was getting over his homophobia. So that actually
can be used for that as well, she said.
That's really funny because I had it That's actually reminded me. I did have hypnotherapy when I was like 12 for biting my nails. It lasted like 3 months.
Is that it?
And then I started again. Yeah. Sorry. What were you saying?
No, that's what she said is, she said, you know, when you like drive somewhere and you've been there before, and you get to the destination and you're like, oh, I don't remember how I got here. She said that is like a state of hypnosis because your subconscious is in control.
Yeah.
And so she said actually it's the safest way to drive. Most people will tell you, it's like, oh, well, you can't do that, and that's really bad. You know, you can't. You've got to concentrate and all that stuff. She said, but actually you're concentrating more on the job at hand. Whereas if you remember the journey, it means that you're looking around at stuff. So you're not actually, you're not actually concentrating on the job at hand. So she said that is like a state of hypnosis. And that's exactly what happens, is that you're still there and you still remember stuff, but you sort of, you know, there's little bits where you almost just, your subconscious takes over so much. It isn't your conscious doing the work, so it sort of feels like you're not quite there, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it is to retrain the subconscious mind would be incredible, to be able to be in control of it.
Yeah, having hypnotherapy, and if it works for you in the right way, it does actually give you kind of a real insight into the separation between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Coming out of there, I like saw it for myself. I was like, whoa, I get it, kind of thing. And it is like a crazy moment. Like, you know, you hear people talk about the subconscious mind, the conscious mind. People that haven't experienced it probably can't really make it into like a tangible thing. But when you like go under and then you like hit it, and it's like, wow, this is insane. Yeah, but it'll be good. I'm excited for you.
She said she provides like tools to go away with, and I guess homework and stuff to do. And what she said is, because I said, oh, how, you know, like, how does it, what do you suggest, like how often do I come or whatever? And she said, well, once a week, because you come here one day and it might be 2 or 3 days later that things really open up for you, and you kind of something will go ping. So she said it can take that long to digest it. So she said there's no point doing more than once a week, which works quite well anyway. I don't think I would mentally be able to fit it all in more than one a week. But so yeah, we'll see. She's not obviously given a timeline. She can't, but she did say that once you start, you need to commit, because you can't stop halfway through. She said, you know, things, your life, she said, when you get to the analytical part, whenever I'm ready for that, that is the bit that you can't stop halfway through. She said, because your whole life will change. She said there's people who come here and their marriages have broken because they realised that they were in a place that they shouldn't be. Different friends, family. And it was funny because when she mentioned family, my leg twitched and I didn't notice. She was like, did you notice that your leg moved when I mentioned family then? So then I explained to her that my mother and I don't talk, and there's, you know, other sort of difficult relationships with my family. And then she said something again about it and my leg just twitched. And I was like, oh, I'm so aware of it now. My leg's just randomly just twitching because I instantly felt uncomfortable, and it came out for a leg twitch. Like, just so weird that she just spotted that straight away.
That's really crazy. Wow.
Dean saying, I tried it years ago. I wasn't in the right place for it to work. What did you try it for, Dean? Did you try it for a reason, like giving up smoking or anything like that? Or did you just go for a different version of therapy? I know people that have been for hypnotherapy to give up smoking. I know someone that went, and he said that he went in and he thought nothing had happened. He'd come out and was like, well, that was a waste of time. Got in the car, sparked up a cigarette and was like, ugh, that tastes weird. Chucked it out the window, lit up another one because he was thinking there was something wrong with the packet. He lit 5 cigarettes before he realised that actually it worked.
Fucking hell, oh my God. That's mental.
I know,
anxiety. So you went for anxiety. That was similar to me. I went because I started having anxiety and panic attacks, and I had no idea. I was like, this isn't right. I've never had this before in my life until that period of time. So yeah, you definitely have to be ready. It's like with any therapy though, or any types of, you know, therapy. You do have to be in a place where you're open for it and not closed off. So yeah, definitely worth trying something else again when you are ready.
I think so. And I think just, you know, we're at different stages with where we were with our personal development, that side of it now, and the healing side of it now. But to even start somewhere, I mean, I'm in a place where I've you know, seeked out the hypnotherapy because it's the next stage for me. But I wouldn't have probably been ready for that a year ago, because there was almost too many layers that I needed to, you know, peel back myself. And she did say to me, she was like, you clearly know quite a lot about yourself and your childhood, and you know, you're clearly quite aware. I said, yeah, but there's just something a little bit more. But I just think for, you know, the journey that we've been on, just having people around you that you can talk to, being able to share things, opening up about your story, whatever that looks like. And we talked about this on stage, is that it took us a while to share our stories because we didn't think they were bad enough. You know, like we didn't think there was anything really to share. Like, and there isn't. We had wonderful childhoods.
Yeah.
But it's all those little things when you start uncovering that you go, okay, so that meant that, and that meant that, and that's why I did that.
And it's understanding your behaviors, understanding, well, why the fuck did I react like that? Why am I acting in this certain way? And it's really, it's just understanding who you are. It's a really powerful tool. So powerful.
Yeah. And I think we go, I mean, the older you get, the worse it is in a way, but we go through life and we try and fit in a box. And I was talking about this on a call that I did the other day, is that you try and fit in a box, whether that's at home because you're maybe, you know, you're a mum, and so you fit in the box of being a mum, but then that's still a box, that's still got four walls around it. Who are you? It's hard to uncover that. And then it might be that you've gone down a certain career path, you're then fitting into a box, because with a job, you want to be seen to be doing the right thing, acting the right way, behaving the right way, because you don't want to lose your job. So you get all of this box is being built around in all the different areas of your life, and it's really hard sometimes to then know who you are. And it isn't about finding yourself really or anything like that. For me, it's about peeling back all of the conditioning, pushing out the walls of the box and going, here I am. And it's going to feel weird, and it's going to feel uncomfortable, and it's going to feel strange, like you're not who you are because you fit into this box for so long. But you just got to stick with it. You just got to stick with it and keep going, and keep asking yourself the questions. Why am I doing this way? Why am I doing that? Is it for you? Is it for a boss? Is it for your kids? Is it for your husband or your wife? What are the reasons you're doing these things on a daily basis? And if you're not doing them for the right reasons, then that's kind of gives you some answers that you need to kind of do a bit of uncovering. But it's always a journey, and it's an exciting one, I think.
It's a tough one, but it's an exciting one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not easy.
Definitely not easy. The last 2 weeks have been, I actually think it's been since the event. I don't know why.
It has been since the event. I've known it is.
Yeah. And
you haven't been your normal self.
Yeah. Well, something happened just before the event, which was the thing that bothered me. And then there's lots of other things that just like, that was like the little coffin, and there's like little nails that have been added to it the whole time. And then last 2 weeks has just been crying for what felt like no reason.
But knowing how far you've come, though, like you said the other day, you said it to me. You were like, "It's not on them as people; it is on me." Yeah. And that just shows how far you've come. It's like your actions, and this is for anyone, that your actions and how you feel is down to you. It's down to you as a person, how your external world allows you to feel and think. And that's a really hard thing to really, tackle, is not being emotionally fed by other things. That's something that I really struggled with. I'm a very, through therapy and everything, I've understood that I'm a very hyper emotional person. That's just who I am as a person. It's just that's in my DNA. I'm a very emotional person, and I used to feed off other people's energy so much. Like, looking back now, it's like, fuck, like, how did I live like that? Like, if I was surrounded with really like down, negative people, I would feel it for them, or you know, the opposite.
Yeah.
But it's just really setting
I'm
that
like
barrier.
that. I get that, because then I try and overcompensate. It's like I try and fill in, make everything happy, and like try, and it's exhausting. It's actually exhausting, but it's hard at the same time, and it's hard to know sometimes where the line is of all that. You know, like I said before, don't stick up for myself. That's half the problem. It isn't on them. That's on me, and I should stick up for myself at the moment things happen. Because then only then can things be dealt with. And I call myself an honest person, which I am, but then I'm not honest when it comes to things like that on myself. So if I want to be authentically honest at all times, I need to be authentically honest at all times. And that is even when it's a difficult conversation with regards to myself. So yeah, that's where I'm going to take this, I think, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Taking ownership of your ups and downs, not blaming others. No, and it's not even, it's more that we can only, like, I don't really blame other people in a sense, but it's, we can only change how we feel about something ourselves.
Yeah.
People will do what people will do. You can't actually change anything about anybody else. You can only change the way you react to something. And yeah, becoming aware of that over the last year or so has made a huge difference to me, I think, is that always putting it back on yourself, and always going, right, okay, why do I feel like that? How can I change how I've reacted to that? How can I change how I feel in response to that, so it isn't ruin my day?
Exactly. Cool. Wow.
That was an interesting, different kind of.
Yeah, we went different today.
We went a bit different today. It's always fairly relevant, isn't it? I suppose it's like whatever's going on at that point in time. It'd be good to hear if anyone has had any experiences of any kind of therapy, I guess, really, or anything that's a little bit alternative. Hypnotherapy. It would be good to see what
me and Kirsty are all about the alternative means. I'm here.
Something a little different. But yeah, I'll obviously update at some point on how it's going, and
we'll have to do an update on one of the
do an update session. You might just see it. You might just see a different person right in front of you.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I'll be like, who is this?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's my Kirsty gone?
I know. Yeah, I'm going to change. She said that. We'll see. We'll see if I do.
Oh God, I hope for the better.
Oh, stop it.
I don't need to change.
I know. I don't think I will massively. It's more the changing of how to deal with stuff, I think. I hope anyway. I hope. Learning to stick up for myself at the right moment. Anyway, we can leave it there, and we will see you maybe next week, maybe the week after. You never know. Who knows at this stage? But yeah, have a good week, and let us know if you've watched and what you thought of it, because we love feedback.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys, if you're still with us, because I can see 5 of you are still here, which is incredible.
Bye,
yeah, have a good evening. Bye-bye.